dark red uniforms, and Rutgers in their all white, and we are underway. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous evening for soccer, and of course the sun has been shining bright now for quite some time on Lincoln, Nebraska, after the 92,000 plus attended that outdoor volleyball game not that long ago. Folks are still talking about it. The Big Ten Network really played a massive role in that game. You said your daughters were all into it. It was awesome.
They were. It was so fun to watch that game.
All right, reminding you, Nebraska in the dark red uniforms, Rutgers wearing the white uniforms. Eleanor Dale had been the nation's leading goal scorer for quite some time. She's now in second, just one behind Lexi Missimo for Texas, sitting at 13. Right away, we got a Rutgers player down. Rutgers already missing two of their star players in Fluchel and Meisel. Becky Fluchel, 69 starts, 7 goals and 9 assists. Let's take a look at what happened here.
Just a hard collision. That's Gianna Romano, I believe, that's on the ground right now. Comes up, and it looks like it's just the ball to the head, but then maybe even a cleat to the leg on the back end. She looks like she's okay.
Gianna Romano, a senior from Mechanicsburg, PA. Redland High School's got a goal and assist on the season. 2 goals and 5 assists in her career. She is always going to play, but Emma Meisel normally would be in that spot as well. As you see Mike O'Neill, the top man. Now in his 10th season, 24th overall at Rutgers. Took his team to the 2015 and 2021 College Cup. Nebraska will build out of the back. Nebraska 7-2-2, 1-1-1 in the Big Ten. Rutgers 5-4-2, 1-2-0 in the Big Ten. What an impressive performance from Iowa in the game before us, going on the road to West Lafayette and knocking off the Boilermakers 4-0. The Fighting Dave Dianis. Iowa and Nebraska, I told you, Jackie Manning, a while ago, those are my 2 sleeper teams that
I know.
Yeah, I think they could make a run to Columbus, where they'll return for Big Ten semifinals and the final of the Big Ten tournament. See Nebraska 3-1-1 at home. Sent in. Rutgers 0-1-2 on the road this season. I just had Nebraska at Ohio State, and Nebraska won that game 2-1. Weber had both goals. Schwartz played brilliant, but Dale had a dummy where she could have easily went for goal number 14, but so unselfish. And I think that's been part of the zeal of up top when you got Weber, Dale, and Schwartz, and then Belzeal brings a little flash. I love that front four.
It's a tough front four to play against for sure, and not only are they good offensively, but they create just a ton off of their pressure. How they pressure, how they do it together. I mean, their defensive work rate creates so much for this Nebraska side offensively.
Quick throw in here for Nebraska. They find Dale. Dale drops it over to Weber. Good sliding tackle coming in there for Rutgers, as sliding over the back line of Lynch, Mason, Banks, and Romano. Nebraska again wins it back. Nebraska, despite out shooting number 4 Penn State 16-13 in Happy Valley, the Nebraska soccer team dropped its first conference match of the season, falling to Corey Dyke and the Nittany Lions on Sunday afternoon. As you see that last match. It's interesting, I mentioned Iowa's 4-0 win. The Huskers will return home to face Iowa on Senior Day at Hibner Stadium on October 7th. This is Rutgers on the left side. Tiernan pretty much, one of the things they did is, yes, they dropped her back, but Mike O'Neill basically said she has the freedom to go wherever she needs to go to help Rutgers score goals.
She's one that just draws so much attention from any opponent's defense that she'll open up so much time and space for any of the players that are around her too. She does a ton on and off the ball for this Rutgers side.
This is Gearman. Gearman getting the start ahead of Vicari, the highly touted transfer from Georgetown. One back by Rutgers. Oh, side netting. Just a wonderful shot from Sarah Brochus, and Rutgers has a 1-0 lead.
What a strike by Sarah Brochus from deep. She's outside the penalty area right here. You talked about Gearman on this right side. Gearman does the work right here to keep the ball, does a really good job to draw in 3 Nebraska players, and then Brochus all the time and space to get this ball on her left foot and strikes it clean, hard, and way out of the way of Sammy Hawk. She couldn't do anything about that ball. Hits it with her left, gets around it with the inside of her foot, and just spins that with some pace to the outside netting.
I'll tell you, that's only fitting because we came on talking about the front four of Nebraska, but Rutgers has always been known for their attacking players. Brochus now with 4 goals and 6 assists, 8 goals and 14 assists in her career as the senior from New Jersey. As once again, there's 8 starters on the field from New Jersey, something that Mike O'Neill is always very proud of. What a shot from Brochus. Second team all Big Ten a year ago.
Just a clean, hard strike from distance too. I mean, that Sammy Hawk couldn't have done anything about it. That's how clean and hard and well put that ball was.
Just the 3rd first half goal allowed by Nebraska this season. And you wonder if they can shake off the shock a little bit, that was just a wonder strike. Nothing that Sammy Hawk, the senior from Texas, could do.
That's one thing that Nebraska's got going for them, is that every single starter for them has returned from last year. So in terms of on-the-field experience, you can't ask for more. So going down 1-0, this group is going to be able to sort, I think. Here's a look at that last foul. Eleanor Dale's drawing 3, maybe even 4 if you count them, defenders on her right there. Draws the foul. Nebraska free kick.
So good look there at the new goalkeeper for Rutgers, Olivia Bodmer, the redshirt freshman from Monroe, New Jersey, replacing Megan McClellan. So it was Casey Murphy, then Megan McClellan, and now you got to step in. Casey Murphy made the World Cup team. Megan McClellan was always among the best. The shot from Dale, and it's in! And that's goal number 14. She's back, tied for the lead in the nation. Dale's made it 1-1. We said we were going to have a good one. We're going to have a great one here as we're tied at 1.
This ball, I think, takes a deflection, which is why Olivia Bodmer is taking too many steps to her right. You'll see a better look right here, but Eleanor Dale puts some zip on it and ends up going off of the back of that Rutgers player in the wall, which makes it harder for Olivia Bodmer to be able to react to it. And it just takes a little bit of a dip and spin into the right. Great strike, though, by Eleanor Dale.
Jackie, I was just talking about the fact that Casey Murphy and Megan McClellan were practically flawless. I feel bad that I may have jinxed the redshirt freshman Olivia Bodmer, as those are not just tiny shoes, those are massive shoes when you think about what Murphy and McClellan did for almost 8 consecutive years, maybe 9 when you throw in the COVID year.
Absolutely, it's been a long time that we've said one of those 2 names for Rutgers side, so hats hats off to both of them, but we'll see what Olivia Bodmer can come back with.
So Brocious for Rutgers, and then Eleanor Dale now back tied with Lexi Missimo from Texas. They both have 14 goals to lead the nation. That's actually what John Walker led with prior to the Ohio State game. He's like, Dean, it's not that often here at Nebraska we get to say this far into the season we have the nation's leading goal scorer, because they did going into that game. She didn't score, but she was so unselfish. She had a dummy that I think I may have already mentioned, where she pulled a player away and allowed Weber to score the first of 2 goals in that game. Right now she has to just forget all about that goal, right? The redshirt freshman's got to shake it off.
Absolutely, and I think goalkeeping is, to me, one of the hardest positions you can play in soccer, out of soccer. I think it takes a ton of mental fortitude. You've got to be relentless and be able to get over things quickly, and it is not an easy position mentally, because not only do you have to sit and watch a majority of the game and not do anything, but when you get called upon, I mean, you've got to be on it. And so, yeah, it's a really tough position to be able to step into and be good at. But Rutgers is known for those goalkeepers, and their goalkeeping coach is top-notch.
Here's Abby Schwartz, who had a beautiful pass that found Weber on the dummy that I talked about before.
Here's a look at what happened to her. See her circled on the screen right here. She steps into this lengthy touch, goes in for that sliding tackle, and was just a step too late.
Yeah, John Walker said there's one word to describe her. It's just energy. I mean, just non-stop energy out of Abby Schwartz. Fun player to call. You know, and as much as we talk about the fact that Mike O'Neill has all these players from New Jersey, I mean, New Jersey is a soccer factory, has been forever, with PDA and the great players, Heather O'Reilly, Tobin Heath, Crystal Dunn, that have come out of there. Here's Weber running downhill, trying to find Dale. But now Nebraska, it's a big state, but it's not that populated. He has found the best players in Nebraska, and they are Cornhuskers now. It's awesome.
Absolutely. And I'm biased because I'm an Illinois girl who went to Illinois, but I love when a coach can take from his home state or the college home state and be able to grow that team and that culture into something special. I think it's hard to make college in your home state cool, and I really applaud the coaches that can do that.
Riley Tiernan. Tiernan's sister, great player at Rutgers and part of Mike O'Neill's coaching staff. She just got married not that long ago. Madison Richard is now her name. Now that, I gotta tell you, that breakdown of goalkeepers and their mentality, now I know why you married a goalkeeper. I get it all. Perfect balance, everything's all together. It's all coming together for me.
I just act and go, and my husband's a thinker.
Ten minutes in, we already have 2 goals. This is after you saw 4 goals from the Hawkeyes on the road. Doubleheader of women's soccer, Big Ten style, where I think it's going to be an incredible race to the Big Ten tournament, the semifinals and final, which you'll catch right here on the Big Ten Network. Rutgers, free kick. That's Kroger bombing it in, kept alive by the Scarlet Knights. Brocious has one already. She'll run it down. Brocious finds nobody home, and it'll go out of bounds. And Sammy Hawk, who has played all but 38 minutes on the season. Yeah, you said it. Nebraska made it last year to the semifinals and did enough against Michigan State where both of us were saying they passed the eye test. They deserve to be in the NCAA tournament. Clearly there were some upsets in the conference tournament and they didn't get in. They're getting in this year.
I would think so, based off how they are. And I mean, even last year I was shocked to see that they didn't get in, but this team is a hard, athletic, but they're super smart too and intellectual, and I love the mixture that John Walker's put together with this group. Obviously special circumstances in that he's had the same group for a decent amount of time, which is not typical in college soccer. There's so much turnover and it's quick, but this group is fun to watch.
Quick throw in for Nebraska. Guyett is the only change from last year, and that's because Gwen Lane had been out all season. She got into the game against Ohio State, but is not 90-minute ready. But Gwen Lane, the left back, is expected to play in this one as well. But Guyot's done a nice job stepping in. Top of the 18. Rutgers in white, Nebraska in red. Brocious scoring first. And then the nation's leading goal scorer, Eleanor Dale, now with 14 goals, tied for first with 14 with the answer. She got it by Olivia Bodmer on a free kick. Here's Brocious. Tiernan, so crafty. Tiernan looking for Kroger, but it will roll all the way back to Sammy Hawk. See the high press from Nebraska. They pretty much play the same way, home or away. They bring the pressure.
They press, and I mean, they make you put your head down immediately, and they're going to make it difficult on you to get out of their end.
It's Allison Lowry, who's been outstanding. Jack, you sat in front of the back line, which also meant that you had a pretty good look at the front line as well. I'm going to ask you about how you dealt with the press in a second, but right now Nebraska is on the attack. They turned it over. How did you handle when you dealt with teams with a high press like Nebraska?
You know what? I wasn't the get out of jail free card for that midfield spot. We had other players in the midfield, but not until later in my career did I really understand kind of those concepts in terms of finding the space and making sure that you were checking your shoulder. I mean, those midfielders, those sixes, you've got to have your head on a swivel, and you're constantly knowing exactly what's around you, exactly what kind of pressure you're dealing with. And I think those are the best players, the ones that in that six role can take the ball face up, take it across your body, because once you can change the point of attack from that midfield spot, you're breaking down a team's whole game plan in terms of their defensive positioning.
That's well said. We just saw Kroger break that press with a great ball forward to Lowry that forced Nebraska to knock it out of bounds. Rutgers definitely is a team that is built to handle the press. They've got players that can play with the ball at their feet. Right down the middle, another dangerous opportunity here for Rutgers. They get tangled up. That's Gearman, as Gearman gets the start.
Here's a look at that through ball, and it's a good, well-placed ball. She's looking for Gearman. Gearman just misses a little touch on it that she would need, and then just a little bit too much pressure, trying not to let her out. But yeah, going back to Rutgers, I mean, that's also where they really miss Fluchel in their midfield. Fluchel is the six that has been pretty constant for this Rutgers lineup throughout the years, and she is kind of that get-out-of-jail-free card for them. So trying to find different positions and different people to be able to sort that midfield for Rutgers going forward specifically is a tough one for them.
Yeah, Becky Fluchel appeared in 9 games this year, but definitely out for this one. She has 7 goals and 9 assists in her career. All freshmen in 21, second team in the COVID year. Big time player, big time leader, captain, along with Emma Meisel. Meisel, 8 starts this year, 51 total, 4 assists. She's coming off a 3rd team All Big Ten season. Sort of next player up mentality for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Allison Lynch. 89 starts for Allison Lynch. 3 goals and 4 assists for the grad student. You know, you throw that COVID year in there and it changes the numbers around, but pretty much if she was available, she was starting for Mike O'Neill.
No, she's had a huge career at Rutgers, and she's been so fun to watch. She leads by example, and she's just kind of that solid player that is really consistent day in and day out.
Rutgers' lone shot was the one that found the back of the net. That was nearly 30 minutes ago. They scored pretty early. Nebraska started on the left side, now they go on the right side. Shot, little chip, but it's going to go out of bounds. Other Big Ten scores. Wisconsin is up 2-0 at the half against Minnesota. Penn State and Michigan both tied at 1. Both those teams are in the top 25. Illinois Northwestern, no score early in the first half. Remember, with 14 teams, they play 10, so they don't always get to play each other. Last time these two teams met was in 2021. Rutgers won that game 1-0. This is the 5th match between these two teams at Lincoln. Those previous 4 ended in draws. And we're tied right now. Here's Weber. Not afraid to shoot from anywhere. Fell to Sadie Waite, sophomore from Canada. Canada has also, talked about all the Nebraska players. Canada has sent a lot of players to John Walker. Barbara Hibner Field, what an incredible legacy she has left at Nebraska.
It is a beautiful facility.
Squared here, Nebraska on the attack. Guyot. 1 assist on the season for the redshirt freshman, also from Nebraska. This is where I often wonder why they don't wait for Zaid. I know she's on the other side, but that flip throw is so amazing. But they don't always use it in the offensive third. They use it more in the defensive third. You'll see when it goes out of bounds on the other side. It's one of the best flip throws I've seen, and over the years we've seen some flip throws here and there. I mean, she can absolutely zip it, Jordan Zaid.
Here's a look at that last chance for Nebraska. It's a great ball in by Peterson. Look at that athletic move to try and get up on that ball by Schwartz.
Haley Peterson, the junior from Lincoln, Nebraska, went to East High School. Described by John Walker as the unsung hero of the team. Foul called against Nebraska. Foul called against Haley Peterson. So Allie Post has the big job, and she started this attack of filling in for Becky Fluchel, who Jackie Manny talked about. Kroger always serves great balls in. Hawk. Tiernan back across, and oh, how did that not go in? Gearman was there. Wow, Tiernan did great work to drop it back to Gearman. I thought it was going in.
I love this one-touch sequence right here. It's a great ball in by Kroger. Zips it away from the keeper. Riley Tiernan with a great one-touch to find Gearman at the 6. And it just misses wide right of that post. But a pretty buildup from Rutgers. Here's another look at the goal cam. And just missed it. Oh, she had 1 more yard of space. I think that ball would have spun in.
Here's Rutgers again. Gearman's got to get herself back on side. They check it back. Now Gearman is on side, and she'll get it. Little back heel from Gearman. Oh, denied by Hawk. Massive save. Rack that save, because that could come up huge. We know we're going to see a lot of goals, but that is a Wonderful save.
Big save, but look at this cheeky build-up. Gearman doing a ton of work here, trying to find Brocious again right at the top of the 18. Gearman draws in some defenders, and Brocious just misses that, but what a save by Sammy Hawk. Wow.
Save number 35 and 36 already on the season for Sammy Hawk. She can come back next year as well, which is incredible. In fact, everybody on the field can come back. The only one we don't expect to come back is Eleanor Dale, who is, I mean, the scouts are salivating over in the Premier League. Of course, they are in the NWSL as well, but she's part of the England U23 team. This will be sent back to the freshman, Bodmer. What a great game right now. Allison Lowry, she'll drop it off. Tiernan, side of her foot, back to Lowry. Hawk stays in between the six. Set back across. Hawk can't do enough with it. Rutgers relentless. And they made it 2-1. Kroger has scored. How many games have we done where Kroger has done something great? It's 2-1 Rutgers.
Wow. Looks like somebody's confused on the field, but Kroger on that left side is just so dangerous from the flank spot. Here's a look at Lynch. Does a good job to bring this ball back across, and then Nebraska just dropping, giving way too much space. Allison Lynch so good to keep that ball in, and then Kroger right-footed this time in the right spot, poaching in that space. Great hustle by Allison Lowry, to get on the end of that ball.
Kroger now with 15 career goals to go with 14 career assists. A complete player, never disappoints on the Big Ten Network, does she? I mean, she's always doing something great, Jackie.
She's just a slippery player too, and she just makes her defenders almost forget about her. Her spacing, her timing, it's so good. And Rutgers all over in that top four. They have been so hard to deal with for Nebraska. They're making Nebraska space out really far. They're drawing them back. Nebraska's lines are a little bit off. Really well done by Rutgers' attack.
(2-1) now. Rutgers has taken the lead again. They had the lead early on, 1-0. Dale tied it up. Kroger's made it 2-1 Scarlet Knights. One in the middle of the park by Vicari, the transfer from Georgetown. Big time pickup. She has just 1 year after scoring 25 goals and 17 assists for Coach Nolan and the Hoyas. Sent in with the right foot. Hawk is there. I do not see this pace slowing down. I just don't.
I was honestly just about to say the same thing. What an exciting game so far.
Coming into tonight, Nebraska had allowed just 2 first-half goals on the season in 9 games. They've given up 2 to Rutgers tonight.
This Rutgers attack, I mean, if you watch their movements off the ball even, they're so fun to watch in the build-up play.
Guyett. Nifty little move. Weber. Tiernan trying to keep an eye on Weber. Drop it back to Peterson. Guyett. Rolling off of it. Drop back, top of the 6. Nobody home there. Normally Nebraska is always crashing the 6, but that time Bodmer had plenty of time. Hopefully Schwartz is okay. She's got a little hiccup in her gait right there.
She took that knock about 10 or so minutes ago, but she's one again. I mean, you said it. You said energy, and can't tell you the amount of times that Coach Walker talked about enthusiasm from her.
Sent across. Another great cross. Lurking, but just a little too late, was Belzile, who plays just behind that front 3 and is always in and around the action.
There's another look at this one. Eleanor Dale gets on the end of it, sends a good ball across. Nobody in the box to be able to finish it.
Five shots on goal for Rutgers, just one for Nebraska. The Scarlet Knights with the 2-1 lead. Here comes that flip throw. It's a good one, and it'll lead to a corner kick. Are you kidding me? Is that not a great flip throw from Sept?
It is, because when you're trying to get on the end of a ball offensively, you want it zipped in. You want to have to put as little effort behind it as possible and just get the littlest touch to redirect. And so a ball that's zipped in like that, you are salivating at the top of that 6, waiting for that ball to come in.
Zaid's the right back, and she has 12 assists in her career, including 5 this year. A lot of them coming from that incredible flip throw, leading to this corner kick. And missed opportunity that time for Nebraska. Lauren Anglem, the sophomore, another player from the state of Nebraska that starts for Coach John Walker. Ashley Barron, a freshman, number 17, into the game. Hawk hesitates for a second. She's in trouble. The turn coming from Rutgers was Vicari, the transfer from Georgetown. There's Dale. Already scored goal number 14. Going into the Ohio State and Penn State game, Dale had 5 consecutive braces. Has gone the last 2 games without a goal. That allowed the Texas player to tie her, but now she's tied again. Number 1 in the nation with 14. Zaid. Here it comes again, the flip throw. Deep, little touch, Dale with the head. And off of her head, but right to Olivia Bodmer. All from the flip throw.
It creates a ton. It's like, I mean, we just talked about it, but when you can get this much pace behind it, it's not one of those lofted balls in that everybody can set themselves for. The offense has such an advantage on it, and you saw right there why. It's a little flick on. Eleanor Dale can get on the end of it.
Dale, little touch, trying to find Belzile. We are not done with goals in this game, are we, Jackie? We're not. There's no way.
Too much energy, too many chances.
Well, in Nebraska, I mean, they're going to be disappointed because they truly believe they can beat anybody in the country, including the perennial power that has become the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. I mean, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights have not missed the NCAA tournament since Michael Neal has taken over. They have made deep runs. They are just a couple years removed from going 10-0-0 in the Big Ten. And remember how incredible we thought Jeff Hostler was last year when they went 9-0-1. There's John Walker, and here's what he said. I'll read his quote directly because it's one of the best quotes I've ever heard. He said, "Dean, this is year 30 for me, and I have to say this group normalizes enthusiasm every day." I love that quote.
I agree. I mean, every time we asked him about it, he kept coming back to kind of that reference and just about the character of this group and how much fun he's genuinely having this season.
Here's some of that enthusiasm right now. Dale wanted it. Dale was open at the top of the 6. I'm talking wide open. Instead, it was sent out of bounds. The service coming from Sadie Waite. There is Dale. Scored one already. She'll have a conversation with Nicola Hauk, the German. Sometimes Hauk, number 4, will set a pick to help get Dale open. Dale didn't need a pick here. Dale's got it. Sends it right back to Waite. Now another chance for Nebraska. Deflected there. Picked back up by the Cornhuskers. Shot. Picked back up. Oh, and what a save from the redshirt freshman Olivia Bodmer, denying Weber. Both goalkeepers now with big-time saves.
Absolutely, and here's a good look at it. It's not easy for everybody to stay on side when that ball goes up and back, but Nebraska does a really good job to hold and stay on side. Weber, she had a couple of players on the left side that were wide open, decided to go herself, and Bodmer with a big save off of her line for a corner kick.
Oh, I do have a problem with the fact that Weber did not get it up based on what Dale did against the Buckeyes. This one sent far across, headed back, will be out of bounds. Oh my goodness. Hauk and Dale were wide open. They were not marked.
They were. I mean, there was only one player going on Weber, but yeah, Dale was wide open right on that back side.
17 shots in this game. Nebraska, good left-footed ball. And crashing in on it. Let's take a look at that earlier chance.
Here's a look at that chance where Dale and Hauk
wide open.
Sitting wide open right on the back post. And obviously that is happening so fast, and the decisions are so fast. But Weber decides to take a look at herself.
Well, she has to, and Sarah Weber's big-time player, first team All-Big Ten a year ago. But I'm telling you, Dale's dummy to take the Ohio State player out to give Weber the first of her 2 goals was one of the most unselfish plays I've ever seen, let alone from a player that is potentially can win the golden ball for NCAA Division I women's soccer. One little tap for Weber to Dale, and she's back on top all by herself. Here's Nebraska. It's not like Dale's not gonna have another chance though. In fact, Weber may be the player that ends up finding her, as you see Gwen Lane now into the game. So Gwen Lane missed all of the games up until 2 games ago against Ohio State, which meant the entire starting 11 when Gwen Lane gets in there is back in there from the semifinal game that Jackie Manny and I did. Rutgers will knock it out of bounds. They'll throw it to Weber. Weber, left foot, lofted ball. Kroger's there. It's won back by Peterson. Kroger played it out to start the attack. It's so interesting that Mike O'Neill said that Tiernan had dropped a level. She's basically playing the 9 right now.
She's got that freedom, absolutely, and you've seen her all over the place. But that movement is what's causing problems for this Nebraska's defense right now.
There is a ton of talent on this field. I mean, a ton. I'm talking next level talent. There are a lot of players here that will have the opportunity. There's so many more opportunities now for these players to go on and play pro. The NWSL is getting bigger, overseas is bigger. The USL will start the Super League with a ton of teams where they actually pay the players. I mean, so many opportunities for women's soccer right now, Jackie.
And it's a hot sport right now, all across, absolutely. I mean, the opportunities are endless, and it's just gonna keep growing, and there's a ton of attention around it right now. So you're right, I think a lot of these players have a ton of opportunity to be able to play when they're done, which, I mean, from when I played, that wasn't the case. So to see how it's evolved has been really special.
So well said. Great to be alongside Jackie Santa Catarina Manny. Played for Janet Rayfield and the Illini. Here come the Cornhuskers trying to tie it up again. Good shoulder-to-shoulder defense there coming from Ashley Barron, the freshman out of Burlington, New Jersey. It'll be a throw-in here for Gwen Lane. Last match against Penn State, Nebraska with 16. They've got 12, and we have 9 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the first half. As Jackie will remind me, I don't often get it right, but we both talked beforehand. We knew this was just going to be a game. We were so excited about this game.
We were. I think especially from Nebraska, I mean, Rutgers is doing a really good job to expose some things, but how Nebraska plays, I mean, we've seen Gwen Lane up in that final third attacking-wise, who's Nebraska's left back, so much in the last 10 minutes. It's just fun to see how these teams play and how they try to go at you, how they defend. It's just an exciting group on both sides.
Rutgers coming off a 1-0 win over Purdue. I did ask Mike O'Neill about that because Rutgers has always felt like a team to me that if they get one, they could get 5, you know, but they do know how to manage a lead normally. I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult than normal for Mike O'Neill, as this team's pretty good. You see Rutgers at 5-4-2. They had that 1-0 win over Purdue I just mentioned. They're 3-2-0 in their last 5. Weber.
Every single encounter between these two teams, whether it's individual, whatever it is, it's just an absolute battle.
It truly is.
Here's that battle for the corner kick. I mean, on the ground, sliding, it's Haley Peterson, and it's Olivia Rusamato.
Nebraska likes to go short. They'll send it in. They'll have another chance for a corner kick. Michigan State, by the way, with 4 different goal scorers, lead Maryland 4-0. We also saw Iowa beat Purdue today 4-0. That's a lot of goals. Driven in and pulled out of the air by Bodmer. If you're wondering about the 2 goalkeepers that she is following, Casey Murphy was the #2 goalkeeper for the U.S. women in the World Cup and the starting goalkeeper for the Courage. Megan McClellan has bounced around a little bit, but is currently on the Gotham roster, and Gotham is sitting in 2nd place in the NWSL. Megan McClellan is not the starting goalkeeper, but part of a really good team. Rutgers in the white uniforms. Brocious and Kroger with the goals for the Scarlet Knights. And Mike O'Neill. Their passing efficiency, that one was a little bit too cute, too cheeky, but Rutgers' passing efficiency is so good. Doesn't matter what kind of pressure. Go ahead, Jack.
No, it absolutely is. I think one of the things I liked about with the calls this week with both coaches is how much confidence they want to put in their team, and I feel like that's what you see tonight. You see a bunch of females with a ton of confidence on the ball and in their decision making, which is making this game so fun.
Here they go again. It's possession soccer. They're keeping the ball. Brocious had it for a moment. Now they'll get it out wide left. Dangerous little cut, breaking some ankles. Into the 18, the turn. It'll come off of Vicari. Case of the rich getting richer as the Georgetown transfer comes in for just 1 year.
Just look at that buildup again. And the Nebraska line is so discombobulated right now because of the Rutgers movement. And then you've got the midfield almost converging right on that back line. So Riley Tiernan a ton of time and space on that left flank. Tries to get on it with her right. Just can't get enough zip.
Nebraska going the other way, though. Peterson has had a good game. Here's Weber. Weber looking looking for Dale. Good move, and the crowd likes it here. They know they are watching big-time soccer. They have to, right?
Absolutely. They've been super into every single play.
It's Gwen Lane. A nice crowd here. Not quite 92,003, but a good crowd.
I often get asked if I miss playing when I'm calling these games, and not that I don't, but on a night like this and a field and weather like this, you absolutely miss being out there.
100%. This from a player who loved playing in the rain as well, Jackie. I know you love that, but it's beautiful tonight, right? Because you can go really hard, and yet it's not so hot where you're going to die out there.
Absolutely, and just the energy that you feel from both sides right now, it's that type of game where you just feel like you could run and go for days. Here's a look at this last one where Dale's a little bit upset at this look. Trying to get on the end of that with her head and just misses it. 2 more inches and that ball would have been driven into the back of the net, I think.
Yeah, she's big time. I mean, she's part of the England U23 team. John Walker saying that there's no doubt in his mind that she is going pro, even though she can also return. Dale, oh yes! The leading goal scorer all by herself. Eleanor Dale has tied it at 2. Nobody has more goals in the country. It's Nebraska 2, Rutgers 2.
I didn't think we were going to see a prettier goal than Sarah Brocious' from Rutgers, but look at this strike from Eleanor Dale. She has so little space to be able to get this off of her foot and bend it around to the right side. She almost hits it with her toe to be able to find this angle, but just bends it right around Bowman into that right side netting. What a strike by Dale. Woo! She couldn't have hit that any other way or put that any other place. Perfectly struck ball by Eleanor Dale.
John Walker. He's always got the same game face on, but I'll tell you what, getting to know him over the last several years has been beyond refreshing.
Absolutely, and he's so cerebral with how he plays, and I know we've said it before, but I haven't met a Nebraska alum who said a bad thing about him. Absolutely love playing for him.
Well, it makes me think of during the COVID year. Let's see what happens here as Dale is there. Little touch here. This was the player that had the assist a moment ago. Ella Rudney, a freshman from Grand Island, New York, probably knows a lot of these players. She had the pass to Dale.
She had a little opening and went for it. Bodmer, well placed, well positioned to be able to deal with it, but I saw exactly what she was doing. She was trying to catch Bodmer just a touch off of her line.
Well, being from New York, she's got to be amped up playing against this team from New Jersey, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, where you got to figure in youth club play, they face each other at some point. That's Tiernan, who made the back heel. Rutgers trying to post up. We still have 90 seconds remaining, and we're not certain that we won't see another goal here.
If I was the Ben woman, I would for sure see one.
Banks, Cassidy Banks, former Big Ten all-freshman team. Junior from Staten Island, New York is Banks. Good little touch. Hustling over to knock it out of bounds is the German Nicola Hauk. Tiernan with the throw-in with 1 minute remaining. Goals number 14 and 15 as Eleanor Dale is now past Lexi Missimo out of Texas. Lexi's dad, Derek, by the way, is still University of North Carolina's all-time leading goal scorer and point scorer for the Tar Heels. And her mom played soccer at TCU. That's who Eleanor Dale is leading right now across the nation from Nebraska in the Big Ten. Here she is again, Eleanor Dale. Dale trying to stay with it all by herself. Woo. Almost came true there. She wants to score every time and can't believe when she doesn't.
She does such a good job at baiting you in when she's got the ball at her feet. So she's super calm, really patient, and then right at the right time, she's going to let her step, and it's a little touch by her so she can have the space to be able to get a strike on it. Doesn't hit it super clean, but so smart with her movements.
Eleanor Dale, once again, the nation's all leading scorer with 6 braces now in the last 8 games. Just incredible, matching goals from Brochus and Kroger. Your thoughts on what has been a fabulous first 45, Jackie?
This might be my favorite first 45 minutes I've called in the Big Ten, and it's been about 8 years, I think. So just the energy, the enthusiasm from both sides, and the quality and the product that they're putting out there, it's been a really fun 45 to watch.
What a special player, Eleanor Dale. Scouts are salivating all over the world.
And I'm sure we'll look at it again, but how she hit and struck that ball was so sophisticated.
The leading goal scorer in the country now with 15, Dale in minute 7 and 43, matching Brochus and Kroger. Brochus with a wonder goal to get things started. Dale able to knock it through the redshirt freshman Bodmer. Kroger came right back, but then it's Dale now to lead the country 2-2 at the half in Lincoln.
We all work differently now. So CDW helped us deploy Mac, supercharged by Apple Silicon.
Built-in security protects me from malware and forgotten passwords.
I've got enough battery life to get me halfway around the globe.
And lower overall costs, leave more money in our budget.
For more practical furniture?
This was supposed to be hip.
No.
Could you help me out?
With Mac configured by CDW, a solution that works for everyone isn't just possible, it's powerful.
I get to love you. Forever I'm yours, forever I do. Every kiss begins with K.
Show the world what it means to be a Big Ten fan at Fanatics.com. The largest assortment of officially licensed Big Ten fan gear anywhere. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Are you tired of seeing money all around the house? Then start saving money with First American Home Warranty. First American covers the systems and appliances you depend on every day. And if we can't repair your covered item, we'll replace it.
I've saved thousands, and that makes me happy.
All plans include a no questions asked money back guarantee and flexible payment options so you can never pay for covered repairs again.
Call 1-800-974-7082. That's 1-800-974-7082.
I don't want to take medication. Wow. It's so refreshing to find a doctor who gets what you need. Great. Good.
Dr. Stafford just kind of speaks your language.
Search, read reviews, book a doctor on ZocDoc.
Here's your parachute.
Certain it's okay? Are you for Imprint certain?
Certainty matters, so congratulate coworkers or say thank you with promotional products from 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
Sunday, more women's soccer comes your way as fourth-ranked Penn State, led by Erica Dombach, squares off with the Haas, Jeff Hostler, and Michigan State, a rematch of last year's Big Ten Tournament Championship game. Live coverage begins Sunday at noon Eastern only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. A full moon is appropriate for this one. It merits it. It has been an outstanding 45, led by our State Farm State of Success superstar as Eleanor Dale from England. Last year, third team All Big Ten, a breakout season now with 15 goals all alone. Leading the nation in goals, leads the Big Ten in shots on goals, game-winning goals and points, and multiple games with 2+ goals as well. When we return, Jackie Manny will be back to break down the first half highlights. There's a lot to look at here in Lincoln.
Over the years, I've seen what loyalty can do for business. These people have helped me build this company from the ground up. And I want them to know how much I value their commitment. So I'm doing what I can to help secure their future. Because true loyalty goes both ways.
Enjoying this, aren't you?
What? Was I smiling?
You were totally smiling.
You said this was going to be hard.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
I thought there weren't any secrets between us.
I love you.
The voice needs artists like you. It's what makes our show special.
Four-chair turn. I'm frickin' fighting right now.
You and I are winning this whole sucker.
4 chairs.
I would love you to be on my team. You know what I'm saying?
That was the worst accent I've ever heard in my life.
Hi, everyone watching at home. We're here to remind you that if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have live agents available right now to answer your questions and tell you how much your case is potentially worth. Hi, I'm Gina Bellich, here with spokesman and TV personality Tom Mustin with us in the Help Center. So Tom, phones are really busy over there. Tell us what kind of calls you're seeing.
Well, Gina, first off, thank you for having me here in the call center with you. We always enjoy talking to the viewers and getting folks the compensation that they deserve. You know, we're seeing calls about all kinds of accidents, but the most common by far has been car accidents. So if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, give us a call right now. You'll speak with a live person. They'll answer any questions you have and tell you if you have a case and how much your case is potentially worth.
Thanks, Tom. All right, folks at home, you heard it. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now.
Saturday, a football doubleheader kicks off with number 6 Penn State against Northwestern and Minnesota taking on Louisiana. Then undefeated Maryland squares off with Indiana and Rutgers hosts Wagner. It all starts with Big Ten Tailgate, Saturday only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Great night in Lincoln, Nebraska for the beautiful game, and Dean Lincoln with Jackie Manny. This has been an amazing first half, and it has normalized enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm and energy, I think, are the two words you've heard us say a lot. There's a ton of goals being scored, and it's just been a fun game to watch.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the first half highlights. Have fun with this, Jackie. This is going to be great.
Yeah, Sarah Brochus kicking us off. Comes from deep, she gets it on her left foot, and then she just sends a rocket into the left side netting. She strikes it clean, she strikes it well, and this ball is perfectly placed to put Rutgers up 1-0. But then Nebraska answers the call a little bit later with a free kick from Eleanor Dale, and this deflects off of the wall, so it gives it just a little bit of a weird spin, enough to be able to send Bodmer a little bit in the wrong direction, but a great finish by Eleanor Dale.
That was her 14th goal of the season.
Kroger gets Rutgers back up ahead. It's a great little sequence. Allison Lowry, such a great work rate to be able to keep that ball in, and then Kroger, just a one-time finish with her right foot. But Allison Lowry does all the work to be able to keep that ball in and keep that play alive. And then here is how Nebraska ties it up with this ball from Eleanor Dale. The spin that she puts on this ball is so sophisticated. She almost hits it with her right toe to be able to get that ball spun around the keeper in between the two center backs. Such a great strike by Eleanor Dale.
And now sits all alone as the #1 leading goal scorer in the country. We are tied at 2, Rutgers and Nebraska at the half.
Don't mind me. I'm just the flu. I'm quite harmless, really. And when people ask, but aren't you linked to dangerous flu complications like pneumonia, heart attack, and hospitalizations? I just say, but I'm just the flu. It's him. Who? I'm just the flu.
Fight the flu with higher dose flu vaccines from Sanofi. They're proven to provide better flu protection than standard dose flu shots in older adults. They've even been shown to better protect against flu-related complications.
Don't get Fluzone high-dose quadrivalent if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its components, including egg products, or after previous dose of flu vaccine. Don't get Flu-Block quadrivalent if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its components. Tell your healthcare professional if you've had severe muscle weakness after a flu shot. People with weakened immune systems may have a lower vaccine response.
Demand more from your flu shot. To get a Sanofi vaccine, make sure to ask for it by name. Schedule your Sanofi flu shot, available at these preferred national pharmacies.
Show the world what it means to be a Big Ten fan at Fanatics.com. The largest assortment of officially licensed Big Ten fan gear anywhere. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Undefeated Maryland
Turns on the Jets.
squares off with Indiana. And Rutgers hosts Wagner. Big Ten football, powered by Unleaded 88. Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on the Big Ten Network.
Sarah, you got this. Okay?
But they lost.
Not really. Not where it counts.
Guard that with your life, but do not open it.
This ain't what you want. I think he likes me.
The universe has sent you a gift.
The love you feel for your family makes you weak. You're wrong. My family, that's what makes me strong.
There were 4 goals in the first game on the Big Ten Network as Iowa beat Purdue 4-0. 4 goals in the first 45. Rutgers and Nebraska tied at 2. 23 shots in the game. You see the goal scorers. It's 2-2 at the half here in Lincoln.
Welcome to Hampton by Hilton. Big game tomorrow. You guys ready?
Oh, we're ready, Gus.
Which way's our room?
Bring it in. 301, 2 queens, best sleep guaranteed.
So comfy.
Nailed it. 1, 2, 3.
Syrup.
They're hungry for the win.
Big time.
When you're playing to win, it matters where you stay. Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
Sometimes there's a truth burning to be told in its own way.
Anna is a true story of an enslaved woman who jumped from a window and lived to sue for her freedom. The purpose of the entire project is to expand our sense of the enslaved.
This is a historical drama. We wanted viewers to be with Anna on the ledge. My colleagues are, in my mind, superheroes. Doing this film was intensely collaborative, intensely creative. It involved students, faculty, actors, and musicians. It's like nothing I've ever had the opportunity to do.
It was an educational opportunity for all of us in the core team, and it was a great learning opportunity for students.
As a student, it was definitely a life-changing experience. And seeing everybody's hard work kind of come together really makes you feel fulfilled.
We need a small business loan fast.
I got this. Loan Falcon!
There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. Go to ondeck.com, and if approved, get your funds as soon as the same day. Your loan is on deck.
If your cat's litter makes you do this, you need this. Pretty Litter is an odor-busting, low-dust, health monitoring solution to your cat's litter box. Get the Smart Cat litter that's conveniently delivered to your door by visiting prettylitter.com.
The best thing about Chime is being paid up to 2 days early. Whenever I need cash out, Chime has more than 60,000 fee-free ATMs. Accessing my cash has to be easy. That's why I love Chime. Join me on Chime at chime.com.
Are you going higher or lower? With Underdog Fantasy's Pick'em game, that's the only choice you have to make. It's easy, it's fun, and it's the best way to put more sweat in watching your favorite team. Get started today at UnderdogFantasy.com.
Welcome back to Lincoln, where we got a big-time Big Ten matchup here. It's Rutgers 2, Nebraska 2. Mike O'Neill, what a first 45. I know you gave up a couple goals, but that was entertaining soccer. Your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, it was definitely entertaining. Too much entertainment for me, by the way. So look, both teams know a lot about each other, and there's no surprises. And I think that's what happens when a Rutgers-Nebraska game happens, is that there's a lot of attacking mentality. And I thought the first half was a good display by both teams.
What are some of the improvements you want to see from your team in the second 45?
Just be consistent with the ball, because I think when we have the ball and we're playing balls into feet and we control the tempo, which is really important. I'd like to see when we get pressed a little bit that we still have the courage to play, because you're not going to win every moment of the game, but it's important for us to dictate the tempo and continue to find balls into our midfielders' feet and let them run the show.
Well said. Mike O'Neill, top man for Rutgers. Thanks for being with us. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Mike O'Neill, what a job he's done, taking his team to not one but 2 college cups. And Sarah Brocious, what a golazo she had in minute 5. Sarah Brocious, second team All Big Ten a year ago, now sitting on 8 goals and 14 assists. And of course, the story, breakout year, Eleanor Dale. 15 goals, number 14 and 15 to take over the lead yet again. Went 2 games without a goal and made up for it with 2 in this one. 3rd game this season, she's had 2 goals. She had 2 against Missouri and St. Louis. We saw Iowa beat Purdue 4-0. Michigan State beat Maryland 5-0. Wisconsin is up 3-2 on Minnesota. Michigan and Penn State final was a 1-1 tie. Nebraska last 3 matches, 21-6 on corners versus opponents, and 5-0 tonight as we're at Barbara Hibner Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. Always great to be alongside Jackie Manny. I'm Dean Linke, delighted to be with you for this one. The second of 2, as the Big Ten Network has brought you 8 goals already with 45 minutes left to play.
Like I said, it was one of those games that just made you, one of those halves, excuse me, that just made you want to be on the field again. There's just so much energy and confidence going in these 2 teams.
Rutgers, that stayed. Deflected. Weber, and it'll be a corner kick. So it's 6-0 now. Corner kick advantage for Nebraska.
Eleanor Dale, she's just so smart with her movements. If you watch her right now, she's just sitting and poaching right on that back shoulder of the defense, and just subtly kind of comes into that back of the 6 spot to try and get on the ball. But she is so on with her movement, so smart, and she knows exactly where that ball's going from her teammates.
You are so on point, Jackie. We have seen her score multiple ways, and we know that she can score with her head. Her ability in the air is fantastic. You almost feel like that might be how she gets a hat trick, right?
Absolutely. And again, when you're somebody like that who garners so much attention from the defense, but you still have the ability to sit on a back shoulder and be able to kind of sneak yourself into different spots. She's just smart. She's one step ahead of everybody at times.
Dade just threw it in there, did not do the flip throw. I do need to get a memo to Coach Walker demanding the flip throw every time she touches the ball.
Here's a look at that challenge. Brochus not happy with this, but she gets ball, but she gets tangled up pretty good.
It was Abby Schwartz who went down, sold it. Free kick opportunity. Left foot, sent in, far post. And here they're screaming away. That was Dale who cranked it again. She hit that with her left foot. Dade will earn the throw in. So here, it's got to be a flip. Tell me it is. It is. Here's the flip. Little touch from Dale. Or was that Schwartz first? Schwartz, then Dale.
Yeah. Just look at that earlier chance first. Good ball in, trying to find Hauk on the back of the 6 right there. Eleanor Dale tries to get in it. Well defended by Gearman. And here's a look at that second chance. Another flick by Schwartz trying to find Dale. Who else? Again.
Here we go. Turning on it, Weber. Trying to keep it in bounds. It'll stay with Rutgers. Rutgers as good as any team building out of the back. That's good defense, though, from the Cornhuskers to win it back. Rutgers just trying to clear it to get out of pressure. Now they'll win it. Gearman. Backtracking. Hawk. Sammy Hawk will roll it out. She's got Lauren Anglem and Nicola Hauk in front of her. Here's Dade with a little move around Kroger. Dade trying to stay with it. This is old school physical play, but the difference is the technical ability and the finishing ability of these teams is different level. And I say that, Jackie, you know, you've always said it when you played Big Ten was so physical. It's kind of that old school physical, but the technical ability out there has been ridiculous.
No, you kind of read my mind. Because when we were talking to John Walker, and Rutgers has done the same thing, but he said to him, the important thing is to be hard, to be physical, to be aggressive, but to also be able to take a breath, stay calm, and be logical with your movements and your passes. And we've seen that on full display all night. Look at Schwartz right here, keeping this in bounds and then trying to stay on it. Well defended by Kroger.
What
I love
a
that
touch.
little spin on the touchline right there.
Well, the great thing about our great crew showing that play was the touch, but then her ability to fight through one of the better players in the conference in Kroger. And here we go again, Schwartz versus Kroger. Schwartz goes around Kroger, eliminating players. Schwartz finally has it dropped away. One back by the Cornhuskers, and not on frame.
Did you say you called Haley Peterson the unsung hero?
Well, that's what Coach Walker calls her.
I agree. And here's a look at that buildup again. Schwartz on the ball again, going 1v1 against Kroger. So patient, so calm, and then a quick little left to right shimmy to be able to free herself up. Takes a little bit of a mistouch, but well defended by Allie Post right there, who we talked about. Fluchel, who usually sits in the 6 for Rutgers, but I think Allie Post has been on this game. She's done a really good job to find her angles, get her team out of pressure in that 6 spot. Her and Brochus have worked really well together.
Dale has got 2 already, deflected. In the Ohio State game, Jackie, I will tell you that Abby Schwartz, for me, was the player of the game. She was incredible. Weber got both goals. The dummy from Dale was out of this world, but Schwartz was ridiculously good.
She ended the year really well, too. I remember us talking a ton about her in the Big Ten tournament last year. She just brings that spark and that engine that gets her team going around her.
Look at Dade stepping up again. Zaid, rather. I feel like I called her Dade before Jordan. Zaid, that flip throw.
You're gonna see it again.
Yeah, Jordan Zaid. Here goes the Zaid flip throw. And it leads to a corner kick. I mean, what a weapon. What a weapon. Jordan Zaid, a junior from Kansas, DeSoto High School. Leads the team in assists. Yet another corner kick for Nebraska. Zaid. Picked out of the air by Olivia Bodmer. Foul called against number 17, Ashley Barron, the freshman from Burlington, New Jersey, Holy Cross Prep Academy. Hard tackle as Gearman takes down Zaid. Zaid elects to not flip it, throws it in quickly. Another score that's final. Wisconsin knocking off Minnesota 3-1. Back in the midfield by Nebraska. The Cornhuskers 7-2-2, most wins through 11 matches since 2017. They are 3-1-1 here at home on this beautiful surface. Nebraska leads the Big Ten in goals. They're in the top 10 in the nation in goals. They rarely do not have a halftime lead as they came into this game outscoring the opposition 17-2 in the first half.
We haven't talked a ton about Lauren Ingram, the center back for Nebraska, but she was the one that you just saw had that crafty little footwork to get herself out of pressure. She's the one that's so good on the ball. And she's just calm. She's a calm center back. She's a good passer, and I think she's going to have a big future for this Nebraska side.
Yeah, she's only a sophomore. Made the all-freshman team a year ago. That's what's, to me, again, worth mentioning again. Every single player out there can return next year, including Eleanor Dale. John Walker's been very clear that she is not coming back, but Sammy Hawk can come back one more year. I don't think it ever hurts a goalkeeper to get one more year of college, particularly if you can go on and get your master's and more education as well. There's just not as many opportunities for goalkeepers, obviously.
Absolutely, and we had such a good highlight package from all the goals. We didn't even get to see some of the saves that she had because she came up big for Nebraska in that first half.
She did. Rutgers, they don't need a whole lot to find one here. They'll send it in. There's Hawk who will punch it out with authority. It's still loose. And Miss hit by Rutgers right at the top of the 18 as Gearman was closing down.
Great ball in here. And Hawk, such a good job to come off of her line and cleanly win that ball. Gearman's had a game for Rutgers, though.
Yeah, she's active. She is super active. Played over the top to Schwarz. Schwarz will square it. A little bit behind. Dale calling for it. Toe. Was that deflected? No. Pulled back just in time. Good decision there. Did she toe poke that from 18?
She might have. This ball just needed a little bit more zip on it, but if she lets this dummy go right into Eleanor Dale's run. That was your dummy back to Eleanor Dale. That was it.
Yeah, Waite is only a sophomore. Canadian.
And Coach Walker talked about just how logical she is. She kind of balances all the athleticism, the heart, the aggression, the go, go, go. And he said when a pass gets to her, you know the next one's going to be smart.
Middle of the field for Nebraska. Emma Prososki is in there. She's another good player that looked really good against Ohio State last week right here on the Big Ten Network. Prososki, a sophomore from Omaha. This game is fascinating because Nebraska's at home. We know Dale leads the country, but Rutgers has so many players that made it all the way to the College Cup. You can't hardly count them out, so you really have no idea who's going to win this game, I don't think. Here comes Zaid. Zaid, pretty good ball. Kept alive. And it's won back again by Jordan Zaid. So find Peterson. Do you agree with that thought? I mean, you think Nebraska at home can maybe win this? They got that entire team back, but Rutgers has a lot of their team back. They are missing a few key players, though, because of injury. You've talked about it already in Fuchel and Meisel. I can't call it. I have no idea who's going to win this game.
I don't know if anybody can. Like you said, there's just so many dangerous weapons all over the field right now in terms of attacking, and also, I mean, we haven't even touched on some of the defensive strengths of either side either. The attack has been so good.
Last 3 matches, check that out. 25 corners for the Cornhuskers, giving up just 6. Nice work by Hawk, the goalkeeper, to be beyond midfield. Tiernan. Played back by Lowry. Lowry with great effort on that second goal to track it down near the end line to find Kroger. Nebraska actually had 34 shots at Eastern Michigan in a game this year. That's one way to normalize enthusiasm.
And as this game has slowed down a little bit, you talked a little bit about it, but just seeing the possession style soccer.
Well, yeah, Jackie, thank you. John Walker, you talked about how we've kind of got to know him a little bit better and how all the players like him. if you remember during COVID, this one is sent back across, trying to run it down. It'll go out of bounds. Sue Marriott put together that Big Ten and 10 as you break this down, this play right here.
There's a look up and over. It's a good ball in for Schwartz run. Kroger, well defended.
The flip throw from Zaid. Little touch from Schwartz. But Sinclair Miramontes tracked down John Walker to be a part of that Big Ten and 10, where we had an incredible player with every single coach in during COVID. It was so fun to do. You were having, I think, baby number 12 during that time, but it was incredible as Coach Walker. I mean, he was awesome in it, and Sinclair Miramontes said the same thing that you said, that all the players say, that they love him. They flat out love the guy.
You know what, he just seems so genuine whenever you talk to him, in terms of once you do start to get him to open up a little bit, and he's such a soccer mind as well, and you just kind of want to pick his brain more, you want to learn from him more, and I can see why his players love him. He just seems like the type of coach who's going to give you all the confidence in the world and also teach you a little bit more about soccer and make you better when you're there.
So well said. 27 minutes remaining here. And you're right, it finally has slowed down just a little bit. Rutgers check it back. You're also right about your comments about Allie Post, the sophomore. Decent presence, 5'10".
She's been great. She's been really, really smart with her angles, and always an option for center backs, because like we've talked about, Nebraska is going to high press you. They're going to make you uncomfortable, but she's done a great job at finding those angles and switching the point of attack and breaking down some of that high press from Nebraska.
Foul called against Rutgers. Second ball won by the Cornhuskers. Weber is denied. Good defense from the Scarlet Knights. They'll go the other way. They've got some space. Brocious. Pretty good ball to Lowry. Lowry back to Brocious. Gearman is in the 18 if they can find a way to get it to him. Barron sends it long. Mike O'Neill has taken his team to the NCAA tournament every year. He's been the head coach, assistant to Glenn Crooks, who's actually become a big-time media personality. Glenn Crooks sometimes calls some of the Rutgers games.
He's another one who is one of the best at instilling confidence in his players, and I think that's one of the biggest things, is his belief in wanting each of his players to be confident on the ball, to be confident in the decision-making in the games. He's one of the best at it.
Jackie, there's no doubt in my mind, I'll see if you agree, that Rutgers is playing for a win. Rutgers, home or away, they have the talent. They always play for the win. There's no more overtime. We had a big debate in men's soccer, and it's going to continue to be a debate, but in women's soccer, I feel like teams are playing for the win the majority of the time.
I would 1,000% agree with that, especially a Rutgers side who's got that Jersey Shore blue-collar attitude to them. They're not playing for anything but 3 points.
And it goes without saying, Nebraska at home, Barbara Hibner Field, they want the 3 points. They want to eliminate all doubt for the committee this time around. As we're in Lincoln, Nebraska. Always great to be with Jackie Manny. Team Linky along for the ride with Zaid. Not Dade, Zaid with a good ball there. Weber. All right, what are you seeing so far as we're almost halfway through the second half? I know what we saw in the first half. What are you seeing so far in the second half here, Jackie?
I mean, like we talked about, it's settled down a little bit, so you're seeing some of the personalities a little bit more of both these sides. And they're different, but they're really similar too. I think both sides are calm on the ball. Both sides want to play. There's a lot of space in the midfield, which is allowing for some of these breakdowns right here. So I think it's just going to be about who can be more sophisticated in this final third play.
Boy, yeah, you nailed it. Both teams have the sophistication to get it done in the final third. As I say that, Tiernan turns it over. 50 little moves there by Peterson.
Here is a look at how we got here. Got Sarah Brocious with that left-footed bomb from deep. Eleanor Dale ties it up, deflects just enough to be able to put a little spin on it. Kroger gets on the end of a cross from the end line. Great work by Lowry to keep that alive. And then Eleanor Dale, that right-footed, tricky little shot to put it at 2-2.
There's that long flip throw. As I mentioned, she does that on the defensive third all of the time, and it goes 40, 50 yards.
I'm gonna have to look at that Eleanor Dale second goal again, because it's the slightest little tweak in her shot, but she hits that thing with her toe, and you don't see a lot of tricky but really forceful goals, and that had both.
It did. Yeah, it had the spin. Yeah, it had all of it. You can tell both teams really starting to mix it up here right now. Ashley Barron, Mike O'Neill, maybe not in love with that call. Just saw Madison Tiernan Richard, now in her 8th season, the former player, and what a treat for her to be able to coach her sister. Tried to play it to her sister, Tiernan. Nebraska, rather, be a throw-in for Rutgers. 20 minutes and change remaining. Allison Lynch. Here's Tiernan. Tiernan, what a rookie campaign. 8 goals and 13 assists to win the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. 4 goals and 6 assists last year. Zaid. It's out of the air by Bodmer.
Here's a look at that. Zaid streaking up this right side. Saw a little opening, decided to go for it. It's a well-struck ball. Bodmer, well done to hold on to it. Again, diving to her right is Bodmer. Really well done to keep her feet, keep that ball in her hands as she goes to ground.
Yeah, good concentration. As you know, I'm a huge fan of goalkeepers catching it rather than parrying it away. And she did that through a lot of traffic. Big time play. Send it to Vicari. Vicari, rather, the Georgetown transfer. Weber. From way downtown, the junior from the state of Nebraska. .25 shots for Nebraska, 11 for Rutgers. Weber. Wait. Dale gives it up. One more touch, far post, corner kick, Cornhuskers.
Some great movement, some great ball. Zinn going left to right, up and back, staying on side. Well defended by Rutgers, but some really good passing from Nebraska to be able to break that box down.
10 corners, double digits for Nebraska. They have 10 shots to 3 in the second half. Off of Dale's head, still loose. Wow, even if Dale's not scoring, she's creating something crazy.
It's a decent ball in, it gets popped out. And then a good ball from Waite. Howe just can't get the right touch on it. Puts a little bit too much loft, a little bit too much air under it.
Nebraska with an 11-3 edge in shots this half. Dale has 10 shots tonight. Rutgers as a team has 11. Is there a card?
Here's a look at the foul that led to that card. Just a late dive in from Kama Carpenter.
Another freshman from East High School right there in Lincoln. It's hard not to love Lincoln. You go to Lincoln and you get swallowed up by the university. It's incredible. The downtown scene is so cool. They've done so many improvements to where all of the sporting facilities are. It's rock star like. This could be a throw in. So here's Carpenter, who just got that yellow card. John Walker going to his bench. He's got a flip throw too. High in the air. Bicycle kick. Not quite there. Eleanor Dale showing it all. The entire repertoire from number 9.
Look at this bicycle right here. These are not easy to do and get some pace on it, but just misjudges it a tiny bit. Hits a little bit more of her shin than her foot, but still gets a little zip on it.
Well, we all know how good England has become. It started with the Euros, rolling into the World Cup, and you feel like Eleanor Dale is going to be part of that future. And then you think about some of those big-time Premier League teams that are incredible, as Dale now has the same amount of shots as Rutgers. I think it's worth mentioning, so like somebody like Emma Hayes, who you might know, she used to coach the Chicago Red Stars, now leading Chelsea. You think she doesn't want her on her team?
Oh, absolutely. And Emma Hayes loves some offense, so I could absolutely see her.
Push there from Vicari. Again, it's worth mentioning Vicari's numbers again, the graduate student from Georgetown. 25 goals and 17 assists for the Hoyas, who, like Rutgers, always find themselves in and around the College Cup. Weber. Kroger will leave it. Coach Walker also has said that pretty much every game this year, there are 4 key items that he focuses on. Individual duels. We've seen some good ones, have we not, with Zaid and Kroger and a few other ones. Transition offense and defense. Are you kidding me? Set plays. Look at all the corner kicks they've had, and then game management. I like all 4 of those. Sent across here by the Cornhuskers. Good ball served in by Guyot. Going back by Peterson.
I think that game management piece is a big one, and when you've got 11 players that have the experience that these guys do, and even the experience on the Rutgers side, game management is easier to sort, but when the game starts to go and it starts to slow down a little bit, you've got less than 15 minutes left, that's when your mental side can start to fade. So that game management piece, I think, is going to be huge down the stretch for both these teams.
Zaid with the quick throw in. Yeah, Jackie, I feel like every game we do, every call we do, you focus a lot on the mental side with the coaches. It's so important.
I love it. I love what the mental side can bring game by game. I love what it can do for a player off the field as well. And we've talked about it before, but you work your physical side out to no end when you're a college athlete. I think working the mental side out is just as important. And I love that so many of the calls that we do these days, these programs all embrace that side of it, and I think it's an incredible improvement from when I played.
It's Peterson who stepped in there. And that pressure will earn a throw-in. You got to believe number 0 knows that there are more shots coming. Olivia Bodmer, redshirt freshman from Monroe, New Jersey, according to Mike O'Neill, provides a lot of confidence for their back four. Has really developed over the season. Jordan Zaid. No bueno.
I would call that pretty smart.
So it'll come all the way back to Anglem. Another great defensive play by Nebraska. Weber. So I feel like maybe part of the game management here is Nebraska, they're winning the ball in their offensive third. They're actually taking it away from Rutgers, but what they do with it on the next pass, they're giving it back. They might need to hold it up a little bit and figure out some angles and make some decent runs inside the 18 here, Jackie.
No, I think you're right, and I think some of that is the fatigue. I mean, these two teams ran hard in that first 45. They went for it. So I think fatigue is part of it. I think the game's just been stretched, so holding the ball long enough to get your numbers forward and built into the attack is hard at this point in the game, but I think you're right.
No, you're more right, because I'm even tired after calling that first half. Right? I mean,
My voice is tired, I know.
Okay, here. Great pass forward. Taking a look. Oh, what a save! Wow! Unbelievable as that one was going in.
Another look at this. It's a quick transition from Nebraska. Olivia Bodmer is backpedaling, but does such a good job to get off of her feet and find this ball in, not in the back of the net. Gets it to her left and then does a good job to get up quick.
7 saves for Bodmer. Eleanor Dale, who leads the nation now with 15 goals, looking for a hat trick. The last hat trick was in 2018. Faith Carter had 3 against the Hoosiers. Weber, all by herself. Weber again. Weber keeps the ball. Is anybody home? Back post. Not at the moment. Tiernan with the clearance.
Nebraska's had a lot of this last 10 minutes. We've got Riley Tiernan forced way back towards the back line.
They'll switch it to Zaid. Zaid has space. Zaid pops it. Goes off the head of Dale. Yeah, whether Zaid is doing the flip throw or booting it in, her service has been fantastic. That's part of the reason, gotta be why she leads the team in assists. Taken away there by Peterson. Peterson, what a player. Peterson trying to stay with it. Peterson finally cleared. Yeah, you can tell Nebraska's finally getting tired as they're not making those runs. Peterson's making all the runs.
I think she's so fun to watch, and she's just a subtle player for Nebraska, but here you get to see her on full display. Some fancy footwork, but you gotta tip your hat to Gearman because she has been so good defensively for Rutgers today.
Haley Peterson, the junior from right here in Lincoln, Nebraska, East High School. Described by her coach, as I mentioned earlier, as the unsung hero. He said she's often the leading header in the game. Turning, shot from distance, and another great save. Pulled out of the air. Olivia Bodmer is legit. I know she let one go in, but I think you said it best, it was deflected.
It was, and here you see her fully stretched out to her left, holds onto the ball as she goes to ground. She's come up with some big saves for Rutgers in this final stretch because Nebraska has been knocking on the door in the last 10 minutes.
15 second half shots for Nebraska. 3 shots for Rutgers. Two great coaches, 2 outstanding teams. John Walker leading the Cornhuskers, Michael Neal leading Rutgers. It was Casey Murphy, then Megan McClellan. Now get to know the name Olivia Bodmer, the new goalkeeper for Rutgers, keeping this one at 2-2, as even Michael Neal will say it's been pretty much all John Walker's team here in the second half.
Absolutely, and it was a little bit even, I think, in the start of the second half, but Nebraska has really put Rutgers on their heels and gone at them, specifically in these last 15 minutes.
Third time this season, as you look at Michael Neal, that John Walker's Nebraska team has hung 30 shots on an opponent. 30 shots.
They don't stop. I want to see the fitness trackers on some of these players because the amount of ground that especially these wing players are expected to cover and how they high press, how they transition, how they go. It is impressive to see this Nebraska side organize and defend.
Quick throw in. Hard tackle from the Cornhuskers. They'll play advantage now. They'll come back.
Here's a look at all the Olivia Bodmer saves today. She has had to fully lay out to her sides multiple times, and most of the time she's holding on to the ball too. Her reactions are good. She gets off the ground well. She keeps the ball. She's had a big second half for Rutgers.
One bounce. Oh my goodness. That would have been crazy. Bodmer had 7 saves at Princeton, 6 against Purdue. Season high in this game, and everyone seems to be more spectacular than the next. Weber. Those are the duels. Tiernan is fouled. Peterson.
Might have been a little bit bit of a makeup call for that first tackle because the second one looked clean to me. Here's a look at Peterson. Talked about individual duels and how important they are in Nebraska's game. And here, just going to ground twice to try and keep this ball in their attacking half.
One back by Rutgers. All it takes is one special moment. Rutgers could have it right here. Gearman, who's had a great game. Oh, so unlucky. The goal was open. Gearman got to it first and just missed.
She's been so good for Rutgers all over the pitch. I saw exactly what she's doing. She sees Hawk coming off of her line, tries to chip it up and over, just puts a little bit too much side spin on it.
Good look at Gearman. Scored against FDU and scored at Indiana. And now a corner kick. This has been a bit of a rarity in this game for Rutgers. Tiernan's gonna take it. Lofts it high in the air. Boy, headed with authority out of there though by Nebraska.
I want to talk about a textbook clearance header off of a corner. This is it.
Here's Dale. Dale can go right by you. Dale. And Dale with the foul. Great hustle by Sam Kroger. And a card going against Dale. Banks did enough to slow Dale down and allow Kroger to get there.
I was gonna say, well defended by Cassidy Banks right there. See Dale, she picks it up. She's got some time and space to really get her speed going. Cassidy Banks does a good job to get her body on her, slow her down enough for Kroger to come in as that second defender. And it's just the tiniest little push with that right arm that gets her the card.
I wonder if it was more the descent.
Could have been, for sure,
a
yeah.
combo maybe. Probably started with the arm, Jackie, but then when you do the wave up like that.
I think at this point in the game too, and things are getting pretty fired up and fueled, it's tied. You want to make sure things don't get out of hand as a referee, so I wouldn't be surprised if that had a little bit to do with it as well.
Fair play. Kroger. Kroger has played deep in this game, and she hasn't won every battle, but she has battled, I think is the best way to say it. As this one is dropped over the top, Rutgers gonna try to get out of here with a victory. Gearman gets a touch on it and finally sent out of there by Ingram. Boy, Gearman so close a moment ago to, I feel like even Mike O'Neill might say steal it, but I mean, Rutgers is too good to ever say they're gonna steal a game. Nebraska just has been amazing with those 30+ shots, but yet we're tied at 2.
Kroger might be in the back line right now.
Yeah, I think she is, yeah. Yeah, they've had to drop her back there. Remember, one of the big losses is Emma Meisel out. 8 starts this year, she's out. And Michelle also out to injury. Banks sends it forward. We had 4 goals in the first half. We have not had a goal in the second half. Zaid earns a corner kick, Nebraska.
Kroger's done really well though at controlling a little bit more with Zaid, because Zaid had all that time and space, but Kroger, well done to defend that individually on the flank.
Interesting choice here. They give it back to Zaid. Bouncing around, and a whistle called against Nebraska And I think that is going to mean this one is going to end in a tie. Not sure how I feel about that, but two really good teams, two really good coaches, and a whole lot of really good players.
You know what, if we would have ended at halftime, I would have said it was fair to tie it 2-2, but I do think Nebraska had a really good second half and created a ton of attacking opportunities they couldn't get on the end of. But what a fun, exciting, entertaining game tonight.
You are looking at the nation's leading goal scorer with goals number 14 and 15 for Eleanor Dale. Once again, your final score from Lincoln, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights 2, the Nebraska Cornhuskers 2. I want to thank our amazing Big Ten Network crew as we bring you a doubleheader. My great analyst Jackie Manny. For all of them, I'm Dean Linke. Coming up next is Big Ten Today. This has been a presentation of the Big Ten Network.
Coming up on Big Ten Today, as Michigan and Penn State continue their impressive starts, Jake Butt and I discuss the players who may not be getting the credit they deserve. Joel Klatt stops by as well, what he took from Ohio State's big win and why a future Big Ten member is the biggest riser in his rankings. Plus, Michigan State soccer on a surprising early season roll. Coach Damon Rensing on how the Spartans have gotten back to their winning ways. Big Ten Today, now. Welcome in. It is Big Ten Today. It's great to have you with us on this Thursday. Dave Revson and Jake Butt. You have been back on campus in Michigan these last couple of weeks, watching the highest ranked team in the Big Ten. Got a chance to call a couple games. It seems to me, from where I sit, that there's some really good vibes coming out of Ann Arbor, particularly post-game of that Rutgers game. It just seems like everyone's in a really good spot.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, my favorite part of the week when we're calling games is the conversation with coaches. And I know you do that. You get to interview them.
Yeah.
You can tell a lot, not by what they say, but how they answer the questions and the approach. And week 3, Harbaugh talked to us. He went over the time limit. Normally it's 20 minutes. We were talking for 40 minutes, just, you know, having a great conversation. So, and then, of course, he gets back on the sideline last week, so that even brightened him up a little bit more. But, yeah, there's good vibes in Ann Arbor, and yet I still think there's a lot of room for improvement. As good as they've been handling every week, handily winning those games, there's still some areas where they can improve upon. So that's the exciting part as well.
Well, we're going to focus in a little bit on that, not just with Michigan, but with Penn State as well, as both those teams in conference play this week. And our big story is the fact that it's going to be almost all conference play here going forward. There are 2 non-conference games and 5 conference games this week. And then once we're through this weekend, there are just 2 non-conference games left. Northwestern has one, Penn State has one. And that's it. Lots of great head-to-head matchups this week. We've got 3 cross-division games, 2 games that figure to factor in division races, one in the East, one in the West. So there is a ton to dive into. And let's start with Michigan. They are one of those teams that is playing a conference game. They're on the road at Nebraska. Mentioned that, hey, the Wolverines are really playing well. We know about the guys who are getting all of the accolades. Yeah. But are there others who, in your last 2 games of watching them, that you feel like maybe aren't getting the credit they deserve for the success that Michigan's having?
Absolutely. And let's just go to the defensive side of the football. So this is a few years of this system. It started with McDonald, and then it was Jesse Minter, and they called it last year the no-star defense, where the sum was greater than any of the parts, right? And that is true on each given week. Someone steps up, right? But when I think about this Michigan defense, one person did give this guy credit. And I'm going to talk about Jalen Harrell here. Jim Harbaugh raved about him in his press conference. I mean, and he does not hand out compliments very often. It's pretty genuine. He raved about him, went on a 2 or 3 minute rant talking about how well he's been playing. I think about what the defense wants to accomplish at Michigan. They are heavy blitz. Jesse Minter likes to blitz and pressure the quarterback. But at some point, there is value in having an organic pass rusher where you can just send 4. Remember a few years ago it was Ojabo and it was Hutch? Yeah. You didn't have to blitz. You could just get after the quarterback. Well, Harrell's their best organic pass rusher. He can do that. But he's also stout against the run. So he's that every down outside linebacker that gives Minter the flexibility to say, we don't need to be too risky at the casino and send the house. Let's just rush 4. Harrell's been winning his one-on-one matchups.
It's been interesting to watch him evolve because I feel like we saw a little bit of a hint of this at the end of last year. Right? Mike Morris was kind of the guy who got to the quarterback last year, but in those last few games, you started to see Harrell pop a little bit, and I know there was a lot of buzz coming into the preseason with him. So you saw hints of it, but as you said, really starting to emerge this year.
Remember that 4th down stop at Ohio State, too? Just in the biggest moments. That's when you're going to the NFL, the coaches would tell us at the combine, we're watching a few games. If it's Michigan, we're turning on the Ohio State tape first, and then you're turning on the biggest moments. Fourth down in Columbus, and he gets a stop. So yeah, it's just been a steady progress. I had a couple nice sacks to start the season, but I think there's potential for him to really explode going down the stretch.
So he's playing really well. Is there someone you could point to who needs to be at their absolute best for Michigan to hit its ceiling this year? In other words, to be the best team they can be.
Okay, so maybe for me, the question isn't, does this guy need to be at his absolute best? But this guy, and I'm going to talk about Ladarius Henderson, who is really their 6th offensive lineman right now. And I know what you're thinking, why are you going with the 6th offensive lineman? How does that matter to Michigan reaching their goals? Well, a few reasons. Football's a physical sport. So you're going to rotate guys across the offensive line anyways. You're going to play 6, 7, 8 guys throughout the season. Ladarius Henderson can play both tackle. He played guard at Arizona State before he transferred. So he gives them flexibility across the offensive line. But the other piece and the expectation is extremely high in Ann Arbor. It's back-to-back Joe Moore awards, right? O-line play is the foundation of Michigan's offensive success. It hasn't been to that standard for 60 minutes. At times, it certainly has. And when they're playing good, everything falls into place. I'm going with Ladarius Henderson because competition breeds excellence. So whether that's Miles Hinton at right tackle or Carson Barnhart at left tackle, having Ladarius Henderson there getting those practice reps is going to elevate their play. And it also gives Sharon Moore the flexibility to say, let's shake things up if they are not perfect. Let's throw Ladarius Henderson there because he's a plug and play. If they can figure out the consistent piece of quality offensive line play, they're right back. They're already in it, but they're right back in. I think that's when we talk about areas of improvement. That's one, just consistency for 60 minutes.
Right, and I have to think, and you mentioned Henderson being a transfer and, Hinton's a transfer, right? You think about